Hello class, Dr. Mike here with a quick video on Linux networking. This is sort of a supplement to what is currently the NDG NetLab we have, which at the time of this recording is Series 2 Lab 8 Basic Network Configuration. There's some issues with this lab, again at the time of this recording. I think I have a supplementary document to go in and try to fix issues in CentOS. I'm not really going to use CentOS for this demo because it does have a lot of issues, but I'm just going to also note this that the lab itself will cover the GUI, which is Network Manager, and I'm not going to cover that. I want to cover the sort of the command line, the files, and a few of the commands that work with networking in Linux. So I'm going to abandon CentOS here and go to Fedora, and we're going to work with that. So first off, we are root users. You can sudo on several operating systems. Depends on the OS. Sudo to start and stop networking, configure the network. But for now, we're going to treat ourselves as administrators or root. So I have become root user, and also I have done in this case system control stop network manager.service. Now, if you're on CentOS, it's service. Network manager stop. So, but it's the same thing. It's the camel case network manager. In this case, this is system D, which actually is more appropriate. This seems to be the most common for most networking now, for most distributions. So you can see I stopped it earlier, so it is not running. It's loaded, but it's inactive. And what I have done is I have actually done something called the network service. So I actually started network.service. And you see it is running, and as it's pulling from etc sysconfig network scripts, and I will show you that in a second. And it is running our network. So, all right. And so let's go ahead to that directory. So networks themselves, most of the time are going to be under etc sysconfig network scripts, and you will see an ifconfig dash with the network name. So if I cat the ifconfig ifcfg, I always do it. Seems to always put config cfg. You can see that this is basically the file that says eth0, what's tied to. In this case, the UID is unique ID. If it's controlled by the network manager, in this case it does say yes, but we should still be able to go and source it. Boot protocol, if it has one. Device name, ETH0. Ethernet device. So you can probably get yourself different settings for Wi-Fi. I'm going to go through all these. The main one is this right here. IP address 0, our IP address, our prefix, which is a /24 network. So 255.255.255.0, our gateway, and our DNS servers. So the main items you need in networking, as we've seen hopefully in previous classes, is an IP address, a gateway, net mask, and a DNS, at least one DNS server. In this case, we have two of them, .1, .2. So now that was sourced when we brought the network up. So the basic, to check our network, beyond the GUI, check it on command line. We definitely want to go and look at another file too before we do this here. And that's our cat etc resolve.conf. This is our network resolver. This is for our DNS settings. In this case, you can see it's using these two name servers, which were generated by Network Manager in this case. You can add this file manually and add any additional name servers you like. So first command itself is ifconfig. Ifconfig has got a lot of uses to it. You can actually stand up and run and configure your network configuration all from ifconfig. Look at the man page for that. No, that's going to be definitely one of your main systems, your main commands to look at your network. So again, as I showed you before, is how you want to run the network itself. So if you're in CentOS, it's going to be service network status. for the non-GUI. For as you saw before, which we used, which was sysconfig, system control, status network.service, and it's up and running. We have a running network. If you use Network Manager, which will be the GUI, it will sort of override the network service. So unfortunately, they are broken up like this. You have basically the GUI layer and you have the core network layer and service itself. So ifconfig though will tell you whatever is running, and this will work whether you're running network service or the network manager service. In this case, you can see we have our iNet is up and running. So our net mask, our /24. That's what we want to see. It's up. And there's other information here too. So a couple of things again is looking at those files. We can also call and up or down our networks based on that name with the if up, if down command. So if down, ETH0. If I do ifconfig, you can see it's no longer, it's gone. I basically took the whole network card offline. If up, ETH0. Give it a second here. And now if I do ifconfig, it's back up and running. So a very handy way to go and turn on or off individual network cards in case you have more than one and you don't want to bring down your whole entire network service. So again, if you really want to bounce the entire network, you do basically a service network restart, or in our case, restart network service. That's going to bounce our entire network. So if we had more than one network connection, we would definitely take it offline and bring them all back online. So if up, if down is a great way to isolate individual network connections and control those. Again, this is beyond the GUI. In the GUI, you can also right-click and turn up on or off specific things. Let's go and check our status now. You see it's back up and running, and again, best way to look at that too is ifconfig. I'm back up, and we are on .3. So again, network manager, uppercase N, uppercase manager, right? We have that camel case, network manager service. Again, if you're not going to deal with a GUI, you definitely don't want that on. You want to use just a basic network service. So example here, here's an Ubuntu server. If we look at our network interfaces, this is an Ubuntu server, so instead of ifconfig, we have actually network interfaces file. But the ifconfig command does work. So you can see we're at 1.4. Now other network commands we can use, and these are ones you've seen in other things, of course, is ping. So we can do a ping, let's just do a dash. Let's do 3 packets here. So that 192.168.1.4. That's over to our Ubuntu server, is there. Route command, go ahead to see who your gateway is, where the gateway is, if it's up or not. Very handy way to see that. Again, our etcresolve.conf is good for our network settings. And lab's going to go through a couple of things you can use for dig and so on. But again, I want to show you ifconfig, ifcfg, and of course the if up, if down commands. Those are sort of nice main ones that really work with and operate your network. I believe on our Ubuntu server here, we have a service for networking. And we should be able to start it, and so on. And also we have an SSH service. So, status. There we go. All right, so SSH, so here is the service command, status is running. So a good way to test networks too is, we can see if I want to SSH, as again, we'll come over as sysadmin at 192.168.1.4. And yes, so we do have a connection for SSH, net lab 123. And you can see we're logged in. If I SU over to root, see if it allows it. I can't type correctly. But again, we're logged on remotely here to this server here. You can see we're coming across from 1.3 on sudo terminal 0 here, and we're sysadmin. So anyway, to go ahead and use network service, SSH is a great way to connect. It offers secure connections using encryption between the both endpoints. So again, I just want to show you that as addition to the regular lab itself this week, there's a step-by-step to sort of fix this, which I tried to do and I think I messed up. You can edit connections here, and this is using the network manager, and you can set up the IP address network stuff here. And this is going to look different, slightly different for each distribution. It has a GUI. Ubuntu itself, let's look at Ubuntu Workstation. Again, we have edit connections. So again, slightly different. Here we have a wire connection, edit, but you get about the same gist here. IPv4 looks about the same. So the lab will cover the GUI, and it'll have you work with the CentOS. Were some issues with it. Hopefully the workaround gets it fixed. But again, I just want to come across and show you those main commands: ifconfig, eth, if up, if down, and of course your eth0 or your ifconfig file in the etc sysconfig network scripts, and how you can go ahead and see. And actually, you can edit this file manually, copy it over, create another network device, and so on. So you can actually make changes here manually as root, and it will take effect when you bounce the network connection. That's all. Just a real quick video to show you this, and hopefully it helps out. And take care. Thank you.